Hey friends, welcome back to another video. This week I'm up in Nelson Bay and I've got a bit of a photo mission. I am trying to take a bunch of landscape photos from around Nelson Bay, and I am up here right now at Tomaree Head and the weather is horrible. As in, it's raining, and it's actually scheduled to be raining and even thunderstorming all week. So this could be interesting. I guess we'll see how we go and we'll try and embrace that rainy, moody landscape vibe. Let's get to it. Okay, so I'm over here at this view, which you probably can't see. We've got these two beautiful islands sitting just off the coast here. I've got my 75 to 300 mil on, and I'm zooming all the way into about 280 or 300-ish. And what I'm trying to do is just cut out some features of the landscape. So I just love the interaction of the islands together. So the light was really beautiful over them a second ago, and I took some great shots. I'll throw them up on screen so you can see them here now. And what I'm just trying to do is make sure that I position the islands compositionally so that they actually don't overlap one another, which allows the water channel through the middle to be a bit of a leading line. Okay, so I'm over here at this lookout. It's got a beautiful view over the mountains, and I've just come up with a little composition here using my phone. I was just looking around and I love the trees. They were really great texture here, and they sort of provide a bit of a mid-ground. And then I realized there's actually this really cool rock sitting right here, and that gives us a really nice foreground, middle ground, background. So we've got the rock in the foreground, we've got the trees in the middle, and the mountain in the back. There's a lot of great depth to that image and a really awesome payoff. So I'm gonna see if I can take a cool shot, and I'm making sure to use my phone first because I only want to pull out the big camera when I think I got a really good composition that's worth my time.
And you wonder who even cares. Whoa.
Okay, so it's raining pretty hard right now. Just got a cool panorama over here looking over Nelson Bay and the Tomaree Headland and the rainy waters. But we're about to get thunderstormed on, so we're gonna call it a day and head on to our next location. All right, we're back for shoot number 2. We're going to Shark Island, which is that island you can hopefully see behind me. We've got to cross this little spit thing that's only able to be walked across when the tide is low. So we got to get walking, but as you can see, the weather is a lot better this evening, so touch wood, we should have a great sunset to photograph. Let's go.
We can fly away from here. We can stay close, my dear. Swept up and away from all our fears. How are we supposed to know on our own?
Okay, so I'm over here at Port Stephens Lighthouse. This place is beautiful and we've got some amazing coastline around the place. But what I'm going to do, I think, is try and match up the composition here. We're going to go vertical to really just match the composition of the lighthouse. And there's these beautiful rocks and this lovely vegetation sitting in front of it as well. So I'm going to try and utilize that in the composition just to add some more depth and interest. I've got my 18 to 55 mil on, and I'm going to wait around here until sunset because we've actually got some wonderful conditions. Despite what I was saying earlier, we've actually got some good conditions in this week's video. So hopefully some good shots.
Why don't you leave it all to me? I know how hard it all can be. I'm here to hold you.
All right, so we've just started golden hour, so the lighting is just beautiful right now. I'm lined up here with a nice vertical shot, and I'm thinking I might crop in the edges a little bit so I can really just elongate the structure of the lighthouse. So I'm just trying to get a nice flat image here with the sky in the background, hopefully being lit up quite nicely, and then just the lighthouse. I think it looks pretty good here, making sure to use HDR as well, high dynamic range, so I'm shooting multiple exposures and I'm going to lay them together in editing for the most pleasing image with the widest dynamic range. Alright, so I've got this new composition here. I really like these rocks that are in the foreground. I think it just really helps to anchor the image a bit more, and it's got a great sense of depth that just leads you through the photo. So we've got this really nice rock here that's sort of on the left-hand side, and that really helps just to anchor the photo compared to the lighthouse, which is up on the top right. And we also got these other two rocks that sort of help just to balance the composition a bit more. And the lighting was just beautiful a minute ago, so we got a really good shot here. I'm very happy with it. I've actually focus stacked the shot and also done an HDR with all those focus stacks, so it should look crisp in focus and with really great lighting conditions as well.
My love for you is so strong. We're right where we belong.
So I've got this composition lined up here. We're using these rocks as sort of a foreground element, leading the eye through to the lighthouse. I think it looks okay. There's a chance it might be a little bit too busy, but I'm hoping that you've got that central rock that then leads you back into the mid-ground rock, which is also in the center, and then to the lighthouse. My only concern is that maybe those rocks are overlapping a bit too much, because it's kind of hard to find the angle that I was after. So I had to sort of mess around with it a little bit. I got the tripod here pretty precariously balanced on this ledge. So hopefully that works well enough. You'll see the final shot now. Welcome to shoot number 3. We are out here at the mangroves in the wetlands, and I'm trying to get some more sort of woodland-based compositions, looking at trees and different things that we might find down here. So let's have a look around and see if we can find some things. Okay, so I know this is technically supposed to be a landscape shoot, but we just came across this beautiful heron egret bird that's just been the most beautiful model. It's just sitting perched there on the log behind us. So we're going to grab some wildlife shots with the long lens, making sure we zoom all the way in, using some compression to separate it from the background, and a super high shutter speed. Also, the Canon R6, which I'm taking the photos on, also has a animal eye autofocus, which is really good. So we're going to use that as well to make sure we stay locked on focus.
Can fly away from here. We can stay close, my dear. Swept up in the way from all our fears.
Alright, so I've got this composition behind me here. I really like just the character of this mangrove tree. It's really just a beautiful curvy tree amongst all these straight ones, so I thought that was a pretty cool subject to shoot. I'm trying to make sure to just minimize the composition. Things can get very busy very quickly, here in the woodlands especially, so I'm just trying to make sure that I only include trees that are helpful to the composition, and cutting out ones that aren't, and making sure to watch the edges as well, because those little branches that sort of stick into the frame or sort of just leave the frame, they can be a little bit distracting sometimes, so I just tried to find the best balance for all those different things. I also made sure to cut out the sky, because that sky is going to draw the eye because it's a bright part of the image, and I sort of just wanted to keep the eye in the woodlands on the trees, so I made sure to try and cut that out, or minimize the sky at least, so I shot from a lower angle to try and get that to happen. I think it's a pretty good composition, and the lights actually just changed to be a little bit better than the cloud as well, so we actually have the moss on the tree just being lit up a little bit as well.
I know how hard it all can be. I'm here to hold your hand through this.
Okay, so I found this tree behind me here. I really like the way that it's sort of just leaning over. It's very characterful. I think it's a nice subject to shoot, and we've got the light coming off this moss that's on it as well. So what I've just tried to do here is use the lens compression. I'm on my 16 to 35, and I'm zoomed right into 35, and that lens compression is just helping to get a bit of background separation. That way your eyes sort of led to the tree and not to the background, and that's really hard to do in woodlands sometimes, so having that lens compression is a super helpful thing to have. I also made sure to use a diagonal line with the tree to sort of just lead your eye through the photo a bit more. I'm back from Nelson Bay. It was a really good week. We got some great photos, even though the weather wasn't amazing. I would like to go back again in the future when maybe the weather's a bit better, because there are so many other photos that I really wanted to take this week. I sort of ran out of time and ran out of weather because I sort of needed a good sunsets or just clear skies for those, so who knows? Future photo mission maybe up to Nelson Bay? Let me know in the comments down below if that's something you want me to do, or if you have any other suggestions for other places I could go and take photos. I would love to hear what your suggestions are. Whilst you're down there, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, make sure you hit the notification bell, that way you don't miss out on future videos. I've got a bunch in the works, and actually I've been working on a super cool documentary that I'm super excited to release. I've been working on it for a couple months now. That should be coming out a bit before Christmas, so get excited for that, and make sure you hit that bell so you don't miss out on it. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you got some value from seeing my process and enjoying some landscape photography. I look forward to seeing you next week Wednesday. See you then.